Interview processes, recruitment processes have become increasingly challenging over the years, and we find that they are reasonably complex, reasonably lengthy. Companies are slow to hire, quick to fire, and the interview process is not something to be undertaken in a lightweight way. What we do seem to see in the market at different times, we see these kind of very unique interview processes, kind of unique questions that come up. And I'm using the word unique, but maybe I should be using the word weird, because we do get some very strange questions asked of candidates. And we do occasionally hear about illegal questions which have been asked during the recruitment process. And that really can be a curveball that can throw you right off track. You might have done all the preparation you like, and then you get these kind of quirky sort of questions that really can throw you off guard. And the sort of things I'm alluding to are questions like, if you were an animal, what animal would you be? This type of stuff, which is meant to kind of play into sort of some form of psychology, can really trip executive candidates up. So it's probably good to do a little bit of research around some of the left of field type questions you could be asked. Now, if you're ever asked an illegal question, that's really a challenging scenario, but my advice would be to hold your ground at all times when something like that is asked. Now, an illegal question could be something along the lines of, are you planning to have a baby in the next 12 months? Could you tell me about your religious beliefs? Could you tell me if you're married and have children? This type of sort of very intrusive, incorrect question which should never be asked in a recruitment process. Now, you would be surprised, but several times I've had to counsel senior executives, particularly women, who've been asked the pregnancy question. And I've had very high profile companies ask that question. So, these employers will sometimes try it on, and you have to be prepared to stand your ground and make your own decision as to how you want to answer that type of question. But in my opinion, you really have to pull that sort of thing up. And if you end up losing out on the opportunity, it's probably a blessing in disguise. I'll just give you one more quick scenario. Many years ago, I was interviewing for Cisco Systems, and it was, prestigious company, had a reputation for hiring the top 5% of candidates, and I was going for a very specific training, coaching, business analyst type role with the company, and I was very excited to be offered the opportunity. And then I got a call from the HR director who said that the company wanted me to come in and do a presentation. I thought, well, that's fine, that's normal. And then I got the presentation topic, and the topic was, how would I toilet train a puppy? And I was a bit gobsmacked because it was not in line with what the job was about. I wouldn't be toilet training puppies. But the hiring manager wanted to see how I would coach, train, educate the people in the room on how I would do this particular topic. And obviously they weren't going to give me a topic on Cisco equipment or Cisco systems. They wanted to see how I could handle just a basic kind of topic. So you could have taken this one or two ways, but I decided to embrace the concept, and I went out and I bought little toy dogs and had leads, and I had them kind of all sort of set up. So I had my props, if you like, and I went into it exactly like a training session, and I did all the sort of methodology I would normally do in a training session. I had the sort of how I would set the session up, and I did the little presentation. It was a 10-minute presentation on how I would teach someone how to toilet train puppies. And the presentation went over extremely well. And what they weren't looking for the subject matter on, obviously, toilet training dogs, but it was about how I embraced the assignment, how I embraced the presentation, how I engaged with people in the interview. And so hence it was actually quite a good exercise because you couldn't fake it. You had to actually be able to train on a topic, and they had made that choice on that topic. So, there's a couple of different ways you can handle things, but you do need to be prepared for interviews. You have to be prepared for left of centre questions. You've got to be able to keep your cool. If you're ever asked something illegal or something you're not comfortable with, you have to know how to handle that and hold your own. And finally, if you get asked to do sort of a strange type of presentation, there's method in the madness that, sometimes you have to embrace different companies' recruitment processes, show them the respect. That's how they want to hire. That's what they want to ask. That's what they want to see. And sometimes you just have to go with the flow and embrace it if you really want to work for that business.